Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the Mediabyte channel. Today we are going to be talking about a movie that I honestly don't see talked about all that much. It's referenced sometimes, your family members might reference it, but it's not talked about a lot in the grand scheme of pop culture. Before you get started with all of that, if you are into podcasts, you like listening to podcasts and all that fun stuff, I have a bunch. Slash It is for all things horror. Exploring Cinema is for all things that aren't horror movies. Slash It is for horror movies. Exploring Cinema is for all movies that are not horror movies. Diary of an Indie Filmmaker is all my short film, all that kind of stuff. Writing, directing, what that looks like, what it feels like, and just the wild journey that it is, all that fun, good stuff. So if any of that interests you, you can type in Mediabyte Podcast Network into all your favorite podcast apps or a specific podcast, and hopefully they'll come up. But if they don't, let me know, and I'll either send you the link on whatever platform you use, or I will let you know, and I will fix it for you and get it on that platform for you. So just let me know. And yes, without much further ado, let's just get into today's video. Okay, so if you've never seen the film Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure before, every single thing that I tell you right now will seem like I think the movie is cheesy. I do a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I do think it is a little cheesy, but there's nothing wrong with being cheesy, because I think there's a very loving quality to this movie that a lot of movies nowadays don't have. So I think the loving quality is what keeps this movie in such a somewhat in public knowledge a little bit. If you don't know anything about this movie at all, you have no idea what I'm talking about. First off, Bill is played by Alex Winter and Ted is played by Keanu Reeves. I am pretty sure this is probably the first movie that I ever saw Keanu Reeves in. I might have seen him first in Point Break. I'm not positive, but it was one of those two. Okay, so this is the plot of the movie. I'm not making any of this up. Basically, Bill and Ted are about to flunk out of school, and their band, the Wild Stallions, is the basis for civilization in the future. And so the future society people that have a time machine come back in time to Bill and Ted and try to help them with their paper that will let them pass school, and therefore will let the future society exist, because that's perfectly logical. Well, it does, and don't say anything. It's completely logical, and if you don't think it is, then I'll get mad at you. Anyways, part of what makes this movie so freaking fun is that the way they actually pass the class is that they bring all the people from the past into the future, and as their paper, which they bring the people as their paper, which is pretty crazy. Another part of the reason which ties into that is part of the reason why this film is so awesome is they bring all the people with them. So like Napoleon will go to ancient Greece. Billy the Kid, I'm pretty sure Billy the Kid and Socrates meet up at one point. Like, all the people come and they meet each other, which I think is really what makes this movie so awesome, is that fish out of water funniness, whatever. The amount of humor that comes out of that is really what makes this movie so awesome to me, because there's just so many jokes and so much that you can do on that premise alone. So they abduct Sigmund Freud, Beethoven, Joan of Arc, and Abraham Lincoln as a part of their report, which allows them to do the paper and successfully pass the class. That is the plot of the film. I think the movie is really awesome, and of course certain things don't age very well in the 34 years since the movie was created, but I think it works very, very well. And I think a part of what makes it work so well is it's just a fun Saturday morning movie to put on. You just woke up, you can kind of pretty reliably throw this movie on and you're not going to be jolted out of your seat. You're not going to have a lot of strong emotions other than laughter, and on a Saturday morning I can't imagine anything better than that. The humor of it, the funniness of it, all that stuff really works very well, and there's not much more that I can say about this movie, because anything else I could say would be kind of repeating myself. But it is worth watching 100%, without a doubt. Watch this movie. It's worth watching more than I can tell you. It's fun. If you have people get a bunch of people together, watch this movie, and I'm sure you will love it if that interests you at all. So I like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. There's this Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, I think it's the second sequel, and then there's Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is the third one that came out like 30 or some years later. I like them all. I don't think I've seen the third one. I like the first and the second one, and I am excited to watch the third one whenever I get an opportunity to. So with that, thank you all for watching. At the point that you're watching this, I have hit 400 subscribers. I hit 401 today as we're speaking. That is crazy. That makes this the largest YouTube channel I've ever had in my entire life by the first digit. The biggest channel I had before this was only 350 something. And so this is 401, and I cannot appreciate that enough, because that is one of the coolest things that I have done. So since I started making YouTube videos here, again, basically 2 a week in the last like year or whatever, we have basically tripled all of the subscribers. So I've tripled subscribers in the last year, and that is more than I could possibly ask. So I really deeply appreciate that, like, a lot, and I would never give this up for the world. So thank you for letting me entertain you, because it means the world to me. So with that, follow us, Media Co on Instagram, Media Company on TikTok, Patreon. I put up a Patreon for the Blair Witch Project. It's a commentary track. If you want to do more, if you are interested in that, I will have more up there, probably at least once a month, probably 2 month. And if you go on there and you're like, I like this one, I don't want to pay for a subscription, but I want to just buy this and be able to listen to this specific movie whenever I want, you can do that. It's like $4.50 or something. I put it at $3. I don't know if it's taxes, I don't know what it is, but it's like 50 cents less than a subscription. So that's up to you. But if you do it that way, you can buy the license to just that commentary track, and you can listen to it whenever you want. You don't have to pay me consecutively for every month. So whatever you want to do, you can do that. I'm going to do that for all the commentary tracks, at least. I'm not going to say that forever, but for now, that's the plan. And so you can buy a specific track whenever you would want to. So if that's interesting to you, go check that out. You can see the links. And with that, I will say thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.